All right, so you obviously, were you just at Dreamville Fest?
I did, man. I did go. I attended. I actually popped out on my boy Luke's set. It was
Shout
really
out to him, man. He's super talented.
Of course, yeah, one of the best. North Carolina, you already know, 704.
So you had helped. You had helped. What did you contribute to the new Cole Might Delete This Later project?
I helped write the hook on the intro on Pricey, Ari Lennox's hook.
She's crazy.
Amazing. I actually directed some videos for her before too. She's great. Shout out to Ari Lennox.
Super nice too. And like you'll run into her in public and you'd be like, "You're here by yourself?"
Yo, she showed up to the video that I directed for her the same way.
Yeah, I saw her at some show and she was just in the cut, just hanging out, and I was like. I saw her at 7-Eleven right here in North Hollywood. Like, she just be rolling around like a normal person. Like, like she ain't Ari Lennox.
Nah, she cool. She the coolest. Yep.
Yeah. That was a great hook, by the way.
Thank you. Shout out to Davion, co-writer on that.
I got to ask you, when Cole apologized on stage, that's your man's. Did you know that was going to happen?
I about to ask me about it.
I had to ask you about it. You were there.
Yeah.
That's your guy. What were your thoughts on the whole thing? Because I'm in the minority space where I actually respected it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, bro, any grown man that's gonna just do what he feel rather than what he's pressured into, I'm gonna respect it. You know what I mean? It's just simple like that. Like 90% of niggas in the world like are just doing things that people pressure them into. Grown ass adults are pressured into doing things. So I think that's interesting. But yeah, I respect him for doing what he felt like. I
always tell people like, man, like in hip hop, we get so conditioned and like charged up by people, and not by it doesn't always necessarily have to be how you feel, but it's like the people around you, the noise will get you charged up and get you in a space that ain't even like really where you are. You know what I'm saying? And so when he said that, I was at WrestleMania in the back of the Uber leaving Mania. I was like, oh shit. But I was like, bro, I respect it because I feel like Cole's been moving a certain way for so long, and hey man, like. You got to respect any man who's self-aware enough to know, like, this energy for me is not, like, fuck all this other shit. Like, I want to go to sleep at night. You know what I mean? Vince
Staples had an interesting perspective on it. I think he called in maybe to Joe Budden or something like that. And he was just like, how we not talking about music publishing? He right as hell. Like, I'm like, damn, like, just people just get riled up over all these different things that don't have shit to do with like us having ownership over what we have, or like it's just so hilarious the thing, obviously. Now, is it entertaining? Yes, obviously, of course this whole thing is entertaining. That's the way that it worked, I feel like controversy is like entertaining, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember talking with Punch, and I was like, I saw Punch last week. Yeah. No, 2 weeks ago. I saw him at the iHeart Awards, and we were just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know Cole's gonna be the one to respond, because Cole is like a fucking gladiator. Like, he gets this shit. But I was like, but damn, Dreamville Fest is next week, and Schoolboy Q's on it, and SZA's on it. I'm like, everyone's friends. Like I don't know if there's a more tighter crew than like the Dreamville TDE crew over the years, and like those two guys specifically have always moved with like in a certain way that has never been goofy. So I was like, I just hope whatever happens, like they just come out the other side of it, like, and everything's all good. So I'm glad to see that at the very least is probably going to be the case. So, but for you, man, like, what's it like? Because you obviously. I remember you back in the day popping up on like Two Dope Boys, and you were like pretty active in I would say the latter end of the blog era. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I was like watching it. When I was in school, I was like watching the blog era. You know what I mean? It was like happening. Around that time, Cole put out like the warmer, all this stuff. Like I was in school still, you know what I mean? But it was cool though because like you said, like right at the end of it, like I started sending emails out, trying to like get on Two Dope Boys, and shout out to Shake, and I
just saw Mech. I saw Mech at WrestleMania.
Yeah. They put some of my first like little projects online. I did this EP with Crisis, producer from North Carolina.
Crisis, shout out to
yeah. We did this EP to King's Crisis, and that joint was like. It was like my first time on the blog, so I was like, "Oh, this is hard." People wrote about it, talked about it.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like the blog shit was like they're like real A&Rs for real. Like, them motherfuckers like they had to fuck with your shit, and if they posted your shit, it could like really change your life.
Yeah, man, it was funny. I mean, it's so similar to like there's blogs now that exist. They just have a different form, different name. You know what I mean? A lot of it is just people find a way to get their taste to be a popular thing. Right. You find a way to do that, you could sell pretty much anything.
Yeah. So obviously, because I know you had like had that run, like making music, and then you started to kind of become more behind the scenes, shooting videos. What was the first kind of big video that you were able to direct? And
I mean, the first video I directed at all was the Middle Child video for J. Cole.
okay, so that was like more. Right? That was like what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. When was that? 2018, 2019?
19, yeah. Yeah, this was my first video project ever at all. You know, like that. I was like, oh, I'm in charge of like the visuals of this. Yeah.
What was like? Because if that's your first one, for Cole to trust you to do his video, you know what I mean? Like, what was it about what you were doing that made him comfortable, you think, to let you take the reins?
Man, you know what's funny, man? Him, like some other people around me, but obviously with him, it was like a real big deal. Has seen in me a lot, maybe even more than I even knew about myself creatively, because I have ideas. I'm really good at describing an idea to people, or like a visual, or the way I see something. You know, like it's a storytelling talent that probably came from music that started in writing songs.
Right.
But then the attention to detail with me is just so high, and a lot of things, like it just made it easier for me to articulate what I wanted to see. And I think that's probably how. I don't know. I just came to him with ideas. I'd be like, yo, I want to shoot a video idea for myself like this. Or one day I told him about a movie idea I had. He was like, bro, this shit is like a good ass movie idea, or whatever. And eventually, you know, it turned into, I was at Dreamville camp. You know what I mean?
Writing camp.
Revenge of the Dreamers camp. Yeah. You know, I ended up on like 3 songs on there.
Right.
And then
so you're Grammy nominated?
Grammy nominated.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. Congrats. You had a little bell out.
Ding, ding.
You know what I'm saying? Grammy nominated, yeah. And so him and T-Minus was like in the back, and they was working on Middle Child. I remember they was going back and forth over the BPM, like 1 BPM, like arguing. Or not even arguing, just like debating about the 1 BPM. And I remember sitting in the back. He asked me what I thought. I was like, this shit's hard. And then called me like a week later, like, yo, what you think about writing a video idea? I was like, you gotta let me direct it, though, if I write it. And he was like, all right. Next thing you know, $500,000 video. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yo, were you in the camp when like the Milwaukee Bucks pulled up, or Chris Bosh was there? Or?
Yeah. I met Giannis for the only time. Really, like he was right behind me getting macaroni and cheese in the line, bro. Revenge camp was like crazy. Yeah.
Well, I heard Chris Bosh was playing beats, and like the Bucks were just hanging, and like
yeah.
That had to be fucking wild. Like you're just like working on music, and then all of a sudden Giannis is.
No, it was crazy. Yeah, Chris Bosh was tall as hell. Just walked in with the laptop, unfolded that bitch. Like, what's up?
I got some heat.
Yeah, I was like, word. Yeah,
it's got to be nice to be Chris Bosh, because like no matter what, people are gonna let you play beats. You're gonna tell Chris Bosh no.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think I don't know.
Beats?
People, how was his beats?
Yeah.
I wasn't really like in the room. Yo, why you laugh? That's crazy. Yo, my man just started laughing. No, I wasn't in the room really when he was playing his beats. Nah.